Namaste and Pranam. Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambattva Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Om, the Bhagavad Gita with which Lord Sri Krishna himself gave an enlightenment to Arjuna and which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa. O Goddess, O Bhagavati, the bestower of the nectar-like knowledge of Advaita, contained in those 18 chapters. O affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. And now, Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devakim Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. O son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, the extreme delight of Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Today we take up the 16th Shloka from the first Adhyaya of Bhagavad Gita. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakulaha Sahadevascha Sughoshamani Pushpakau. Now this is continuation of various leaders from Pandava army now blowing their conches and playing the war instruments. Last we had seen Sri Krishna accepting the challenge thrown by Bhishma and the Kaurava army when Bhishma gave his lion roar and blew his mighty conch to declare war upon the Pandava army. After that, the Kaurava army followed, and then came the time for Pandava army also to reciprocate, to accept that challenge. And from the Pandava side, Sri Krishna was the first to blow his Panchajanya conch and accept the challenge. Followed by Sri Krishna, of course, his most beloved disciple, friend, Arjun. He followed the suit and he blew his conch, Devadatta. After Arjuna, his elder brother, Bhima, he blew his conch, Boundra. So, the reciprocation and the acceptance of the war cry given by Kauravas was accepted by the Pandava camp. First came Sri Krishna, next Arjun, then Bhima. And now the remaining three Pandavas, the Panduputra, Ananta Vijayam Raja Kuntiputro Yudhishthiraha. The conch by name Ananta Vijaya was blown by Raja, king Kuntiputra, the son of Kunti, Yudhishthira. Next in line where Nakula Sahadevascha, Nakulaha Sahadevascha, Nakula and Sahadev also, and Nakula and Sahadev, they blew their conchs. And what was the names of their conch? Sughosh was Nakul's conch and Manipushpaka was Sahadev's conch. So with this Shloka 15 and 16, the main 5 Pandavas, 3 Kunti Putra and 2 Padri Putra, Arjun, Bhima, Yudhishthir, the 3 Kunti Putra, and Nakul and Sahadev, the Madri Putra, but Pandavas, and Sri Krishna. The 5 main characters, main warriors from the Pandava camp, they did their duty of reciprocating the war cry given by Kauravas and blowing their conches. Now, the king Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew Ananta Vijaya, Nakul and Sahadeva blew Sughosha and Manipushpaka. Now, what Swami Chidbhavananda ji comments on this particular shloka, although there was no comment from him, no, there was, he had commented on in quite a big details on the previous shloka also, where Pandavas first responded to the war cry. So Swami Chidbhavananda ji says, Yudhishthira is a king to the core, to the heart of hearts. He is a king, a just king, not an unjust king. Being seated on the throne or being sent into exile in the forest makes no difference in his bearing. King is always a king, whether you are sitting on a throne or where you are taken down from the throne and sent in exile to forest. He will always bear his kingly qualities. No, nobody can dispute him being a king. So what if he is not sitting on the throne at this moment? He is a king. He has that bearing of a king. Under all circumstances, he manifests royal grace and magnanimity. So, whether he is in the riches or he is in dire circumstances, he is in that mode of equilibrium. He will never lose his own self, his own kingliness, a just kingliness. He will never lose that particular character of his. He is therefore described as Raja. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthira. So here Sanjay, he has applied this particular adjective to Yudhishthira. He has accepted Yudhishthira is Raja, and he actually has narrated this to Dhritarashtra, who is keen to know what happened in that war of Mahabharata. So Sanjay, in a way, he has admitted Yudhishthira is the ultimate king of this throne of Hastinapur. And then of course, he is now uncrowned king on the battlefield. So that is what Sanjay has narrated to Dhritarashtra, accepting that yes, finally, all said and done, the real king to the throne is Yudhishthira and not Duryodhan. Duryodhan has displayed his unkingly character of talking in vain to Dronacharya. He has displayed it. He can no more be, he is incapable of being a just king. And therefore Sanjay in this 16th shloka specifies to Dhritarashtra that Kunti Putra Yudhishthira Raja He blew his conch, and neither of such adjectives he used for Arjun or Bhim for that matter. Of course, for Bhim, he used that adjective, Bhima Karma, the man, the warrior of gigantic deeds, Bhima Karma and Vrukodara. But that was a generalized comment, that equating Bhim with the wolf, or rather the belly of Bhim to that of wolf, which means that an animal like wolf whose belly is concave, he has the wonderful digestive power, and Bhima like him, or any person for that matter who has got a grand digestive power to digest and assimilate any kind of food in the system, those people will always be doers of gigantic deeds. So that is the implication that he had applied for Bhima. For Arjuna, he had applied, no, just Dhananjaya. He had mentioned Arjuna just as Dhananjaya. But now while mentioning Yudhishthira, he has specifically used the word Raja. And as rightly pointed out again by Swami Chidbhavananda ji, that he has Yudhishthira till now, whatever has happened in the 15th verses, he has maintained his royal grace and magnanimity. He has not, he has not blown the conch before Sri Krishna also. He waited for his turn. Only when Sri Krishna, Arjuna and Bhima, although he had all the right to do so immediately after Bhishma and Kaurava army, they blew their conches and played their war instruments. The eldest Pandava, by all means he could have blown his Ananta Vijaya immediately after that, but no. He has his royal grace and magnanimity. He knew, let Sri Krishna perform the first display of acceptance of war cry of the Kauravas. And then, naturally, when Narayana does, his disciple Nara, Arjuna, he has to do it. And all said and done, in a war like Mahabharata, Bhima is going to be the most contributing person from Pandava's side. So, next came Bhim in order of blowing the conches, his pounder conch. Then, yes, now the ground is set for Yudhishthira. Now he comes into picture, followed by his youngest two brothers, Nakul and Sahadev. So that was the major Pandavas and Krishna blowing their conches. Next, we will also see who others from Pandava camp. They reciprocated the war cry of Kauravas. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Shri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.